Yo, what's going on guys, Arekkz here, welcome back to another Division video. It's the weekend, which means I am once again back with another vendor reset video telling you guys what is on sale in the base operations, the terminal, the underground, and of course also what blueprints are on sale in the Dark Zone safe room. So as always, if you guys do enjoy this and you do still find it helpful, then a like would be super appreciated. Drop comments down below if you have any questions. Also, just before I get started, I want to apologise for the lack of Division videos this week. I've been really busy, plus Monster Hunter released, and if you guys are kind of new to the channel or you maybe just subscribe for Division, then the nature of this channel is that, I cover a load of different games, and sometimes if a new big game releases, for example Monster Hunter launched last week, then I will of course double up efforts to cover that pretty heavily for that period of time. The same thing happens with Division whenever an update comes out. I basically do nothing but Division videos that week, so there will be times where things will fluctuate, but either way, I haven't stopped covering it, so don't worry, there are plenty more videos coming. In fact, I've got the Deadeye review coming finally next week, along with a few other videos too. But for the time being, you guys are here for the vendor reset, so let's get stuck in. First up, in the DZ02 safe room, of course, this is where you get gear. Nothing really exciting this time. There are no chest pieces, no gloves, which means no Reckless or Savage. So generally speaking, given that it's 204, it's only really knee pads and masks and holsters. There's not really anything exciting here, so you can skip quickly over this one and ignore DZ02 today, unless of course you're working through the game for the first time and you're looking for some new gear. Then of course you can grab a few pieces to help you out, but generally speaking, nothing worth recommending here. So in DZ03, of course, this is where you go to get your weapons. First up, you have a non-blueprint. This is just a flat-out weapon at gear score 229, so this is the max one. You have a classic RPK-74, which is an LMG, not really one of the best LMGs, and the skills in this one also aren't that great. There's nothing really worth writing home about, so generally speaking, this isn't really worth picking up. So moving over to the blueprints, you have a tactical M1911, which is of course a sidearm or a pistol. That is gear score 204, DZ rank 75, and you also have the first wave M1A, so if you guys did miss that and any of you guys looking to pick it up, then it is an option, but do bear in mind this is 204 now, so gear score 229 is the new thing. So in the meantime, if you don't have a gear score 229 M1A, then the SVD is also a really great option. So generally speaking, unless you're, really intent on getting this, I'm not saying that 204 weapons aren't viable, because they definitely still are, but I just wouldn't really honestly recommend this given what else is available right now. So if we then move over to DZ04, this is where you get your gear mods. Pretty simple this week, electronics gear mod. You guys know what this is all about. If you need electronics, if you are spec'd for electronics, then it's definitely worth picking up a level 32 version of this, because of course with higher level or higher gear score items, you have much greater potential. So with that, I would say, if you're spec'd for it, then grab it. Otherwise, you know the deal. So then from that, moving over to DZ05, finally, this is where you get your weapon mods. The top one this week is the extended magazine blueprint. This is a given. If you guys don't have this, then you should definitely buy this one. It's always a super high priority. Extended magazines, the high level ones, are without a doubt one of the best ways to improve your DPS and your weapons. You can roll them with plus 100% magazine size and also weapon damage, so those are some really nice combinations. So generally speaking, if you don't have this, then this is a must buy. And on top of that, you also have a small RDS scope, so depending on your weapon, then you might benefit from that. Either way, both of those are level 32, so if you haven't got them and you're looking to upgrade your weapons, then of course this is a good thing to consider. And of course DZ06, as always, doesn't really change too much, so there's not really anything worth talking about there. So jumping out of the Dark Zone, going to the base operations first, speaking to the special gear vendor. This time there are two 204 weapons. I'm going to talk about the enhanced PP19 and the Police 686 Magnum. The PP19 has self-preserved, unforgiving, and hurried, so generally speaking, not great talents, so nothing really worth recommending there, plus it's 204. And for the 686 Magnum, not really a sidearm that I'm particularly a fan of anyway, but it also has the typical sidearm perk, which is Expert, and you also have Fierce. So if we then quickly move on to the terminal, some slightly more interesting things here. You have a classic M1A. This will set you back just under 700 Phoenix credits. This has intense, accurate, and steady, so on the talent side of things, it's not very good. But you do have a tactical SASG 12K, which is a shotgun, one of the best shotgun types in the game. Admittedly, yes, it's only 204. It also has accurate, sustained, and self-preserved, so on the talent side of things, it's definitely not that great. Of course, you could reroll one of them to make it slightly more viable, but generally speaking, if you're looking for a shotgun, even though it's only 204, the SASG is sort of the category or the type to go with. So if you were looking for something to pick up and grab for, say, PvE, then it is definitely something worth considering, especially if you are, say, being rushed with NPCs in the Dark Zone and things like that. Do bear in mind that shotguns have stagger, which is definitely a really useful thing to use. While stagger has obviously no effect in PvP, it is definitely useful in PvE, because it can often be the difference between, you getting run through with a shotgunner, or you kind of stopping them in their tracks and then, blitzing through. Especially if you're one of those people that tries to, run from top to bottom in the Dark Zone, trying to run past as much as possible, then, a stagger shotgun is a nice way to try and give you a slightly more clean passage. Anyway, lastly, moving over to the underground, of course, this is only for the time being for Xbox and PC. PS4 users, it's not too far away now. But you have the Surplus SVD and you have a First Wave X-45. The Surplus SVD is the Gear Score 229 option, and that has Vicious, Talented, and Decisive. So again, not great talents. Vicious, of course, hinges on being on full health, and if you just do enough underground and get enough caches, then you'll probably just get an SVD out of the box. However, the interesting one is the First Wave X-45. I don't normally recommend sidearms, but alongside Expert, this one also has Cool-Headed, which is a really interesting one because, as you guys know, if you see my Alpha Bridge video and if you see my Caduceus video, Cool-Headed is a very good talent because it's super effective and it can get your skills back in no time. And while yes, it would be preferable to have this on a primary, as mentioned, I have this on my G36 through Alpha Bridge. That being said, you could still quite easily swap to your pistol, get a few headshots because you don't really need that many headshots to get your skills to refresh, plus things like damage from incendiary, grenades, etc. count as headshots too. Either way, the point is, it would be very easy and pretty viable to suggest swapping to your pistol, using this, refreshing your skills, and going back to your main weapon. So if you don't have a weapon with Cool-Headed, I would say grab this one because the requirements aren't even that high, and it's something you could just like leave in your bag if you're in a position where you need it. Either way, that's my recommendation for this week, and that's pretty much it. Those are your weapons. Nothing really amazing this week. A couple of sort of decent pickups, the extended magazine, the First Wave X-45, and there are a few other options like the S-ATAIII. But beyond that, it's a pretty basic week. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Hopefully you found it helpful. As always, if you did, then a like would be super appreciated. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. Catch you next time. Peace out.